Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Brotrio, and today to start off our first breakdown video, we're going to be breaking down the latest trailer from the game that has all the hype right now, Super Mario Odyssey. Alright, well, to start things off with this breakdown, we see a pretty distinctive graphical update on Peach here. The first time we saw her, one, she didn't have the tiara, and two, you couldn't see really the lines of her hair, the light reflecting in her eyes, the fibers on the rug even look better. This whole scene looks a lot better graphically.
Koizumi officially debunked the fan theory that Mario was possessed by Cappy by saying that Cappy lends his power to Mario.
Then we have a nice view of the Chain Chomp Garden in the Cascade Kingdom.
Right, and here we see some more footage of the Frying Pan brothers in the Luncheon Kingdom. Mario has captured one so he can throw frying pans at other enemies. We see a Spiny in the shot. It hasn't showed him capture one of those yet, but does the shell count as a hat? Or can Mario actually capture them? And we also see some weird steamed tomato enemy in the background. He looks kind of mad. Like he might be an enemy, he might be an NPC. We don't know what the deal is with him, but he doesn't look too happy.
Then we see the makings of a Goomba stack for Mario here, and evidently you just have to jump on a Goomba's head to knock its head off. I don't know if that works for every other enemy in this game, but for Goombas, just one hit, it'll knock the head off.
And then here we get a pretty glorious shot of the globe. You can see Mario has traveled from the Cap Kingdom to the Cascade Kingdom, and you can also see that Bowser is somewhere over the Sand Kingdom. Now, the interesting thing about this shot is that on the globe you can clearly see that each kingdom is prominently represented on the globe, and the moon is also equally prominently represented. So is the moon another kingdom to go to? It would make a lot of sense, seeing as you're collecting moons, and the moon is greatly shown off in, for example, the Cap Kingdom. Could this be Mario's trip back to the moon since Super Mario Land 2?
Then we get our first look at Shiveria, the Snow Kingdom. I'm pretty excited about this one. I like how Mario is getting snow on his outfit, and he's obviously shivering, so I don't know if there's weather effects in this game or if it's just in this one kingdom.
Here we have Bub Lane of the Seaside Kingdom. It's a very pretty shot. You can see a lot of the carbonated water and a few beaches strung out here and there. And up top on this plateau deal here, it looks like we have a transporter. It looks similar to the ones from Mario Galaxy, and it looks like it takes you over to that lighthouse area over there. Over here on the right we have a chalice-looking structure with an angry, regal octopus on top. He's got the gold curls and the regal violet kind of color. And we've got a chained down structure a little toward the middle here. Looks pretty obviously by Bowser to me.
This shot of Mario diving into the water, we can clearly see a new enemy. I believe it's a brand new enemy to the Mario series. It looks to be a dark purple type of octopus or squid. It's surrounded by its own water bubble, and we will see more footage of it later in action in the video. But yeah, this is a pretty cool looking enemy, and it looks like it'll be fun to fight and capture.
And here we get to see the bubbling regional coins, which appear to be clams or some kind of seashell. And it looks like Mario's going after air bubbles, so he may need to get air to breathe even as a fish.
Then we have Cappy retrieving a rocket flower for Mario, clearly not possessing it, but it goes on the back of his head, and he can run on water much like his blue hedgehog rival. He also seems to gather gold rings when he has this power up.
Here we get our first look at this unknown, unnamed kingdom at the moment. It's a tropical location, they said, but it looks to be like tropical and also swampish. This kingdom looks really interesting. It's very blandly colorful, I would say, which is an odd combination, but it seems to work. And it looks like a bunch of fun. It also looks like it may be easy to get lost in.
And here we see the slam blocks labeled like in Mario Galaxy. And I really like the way that the platform inverts after he slams on it and makes stairs. And you can see other ones in the background, so this will probably be a mechanic of this kingdom. And this tropical region's currency appears to be a purple leaf of some kind. And we can see a new type of wiggler in the background. And you can see on the right that the moons in this kingdom are yellow.
Alright, and here we have this hilarious looking flying lizard guy thing. He has glasses and a neckerchief. The neckerchief looks to be similar to the clothing they wear in Toast Arena. I don't know if he's related to it or if it's just a similar style. He also has glasses where he can't see out of them, one. And two, is this enemy or is he an NPC you can take over? We don't know, but he just looks so happy to be alive and to be captured by Mario, and he is hilarious.
And it's showing that the Odyssey has 21 moons. Now we don't know if that's how many it needs or that's how many it has.
And here we see that Mario is depositing moons into the Odyssey. But the one thing I noticed is Cappy is sitting on the globe, not on Mario's head. So does Mario have to capture the globe to deposit moons into the Odyssey? Or is this just a cinematic Easter egg fun thing? The Cappy's just chilling on the globe.
And here it shows that the Odyssey needs 16 moons. Is that to leave the Sand Kingdom or just to go to the next one?
Now this shot has quite a bit of information. We get the very helpful confirmation that you do get a log of moons, and it shows when and where you capture them, which is a really cool feature to have. But also in the top right, we get the dauntingly large number of moons in the Sand Kingdom, which is 69. 69 moons in one kingdom. I mean, the Sand Kingdom looks to be one of the bigger kingdoms, but even just considering that, this is looking to be a pretty massive game, because 69 moons is a lot of almost all of the percentage of moons in Mario 64 or Mario Sunshine. That, coupled with the 100 regional coins you have to get, are going to make each kingdom very hard and time-consuming to 100% complete.
Here we see Mario kicking at the dirt to signify that there's a moon under the ground. Is this just this specific moon, or does he does this in other locations? We don't know. But you have to slam on the ground to get this one. And then right after he gets that moon, he starts shivering, noting the weather changes in this game because the desert's full of ice. So does he need to wear different clothes for different weather, like in Breath of the Wild?
Right, and here we get our first shot at whom we have dubbed Mama Brutal. We don't know too much about her, but what we do know is she fat and she ugly. We also know she has a golden chain chomp, which looks pretty baller, and they are both wearing hats, so we know they can't be captured. Now, maybe you have to knock the hat off of the chain chomp and capture it, and then bite, Mama Brutal, which would be a pretty cool boss fight if, you take over her pet and make it turn against her. But also, notably, she does have a Grand Moon on her necklace, and we know the Grand Moons are worth 3 Power Moons, so we're guessing you are going to get this Grand Moon for beating Mama Brutal in a boss fight.
And here we see the captured Inchworm Wiggler, is what I'm calling it. I really like that you stretch out, you get somewhere, and then you pull your butt in. Looks like a pretty fun way to get around. And in this shot alone, you can see 3 different Power Moons, so other kingdoms may have a lot like the Sand Kingdom, and 69, maybe more. You also see the fuzzies coming out of 2D space into 3D, which, first of all, I was excited to see fuzzies anyway, but the 2D to 3D thing looks pretty interesting.
Next we see a spinning wheel pitching machine thing that launches Cappy into the forks so Mario can capture them and launch himself higher to get another Power Moon. Here we have Mario making a mass Goomba tower to get up to this lover Goomba here. And she is wearing Pauline's hat, or just a hat that looks like hers, or it could be Pauline turned into a Goomba. We don't know yet, but it's a pretty good coincidence either way. Now, does she play a bigger part in the story in the Steam Garden, or is it just a love Goomba? And Koizumi said here there's a nice bonus if you collect all the moons. So, they've confirmed there's a bonus for getting everything. I'm thinking you're going to get to play as Luigi or another character.
Alright, and here we have a fish out of water. More importantly, we see these snails. I don't think they're enemies, just seeing as how they're different, because one has a hat, one has a mustache. So, I'm guessing these are the NPCs of the Seaside Kingdom. We also see more of those coin rings in this shot, and a seagull, so that's kind of cool. So, hopefully, you can capture a seagull, and it'll be kind of like using the pears in Wind Waker.
And here we see a Lakitu capture that appears to lead to maybe a fishing minigame of some kind.
Here in the Cascade Kingdom, we have Talkatoo the Cockatoo, and he gives you hints on where Power Moons would be. It seems like he gives you the title of where the Power Moon is on your checklist, but we don't know for sure yet. And look how wide he opens his mouth. Now, is he only in the Cascade Kingdom, or will he be in other kingdoms as well? Now, moving over to the Sand Kingdom, we have Hint Toad, who, instead of just helping Mario save the Princess of the Mushroom Kingdom, he demands compensation. And Uncle Amiibo is right next to him, which leads me to believe that if you don't have any Amiibo, you can shell out the 50 coins to Hint Toad instead of using an Amiibo. I think they serve the same function, but just, giving you options with or without Amiibo. Just like Talkatoo, I'm wondering if they will be in other levels too, or if every level has its own specific hint-giving person.
Right, now here, we see Mario talking to a Koopa that says, "Want to race, bro?" So, there's going to be a Koopa race, and we see the Koopa race. It's one color off from being Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is kind of sad, but here we also see other mini games, like we see Mario jumping rope and then an RC car race. And then one thing to take note of is the jump rope and RC car challenge are both in the Metro Kingdom. So it appears that there isn't just one mini game per kingdom. Hopefully there's multiple mini games for every kingdom, which would greatly improve the fun factor of this game. If you can just play like 5 mini games per kingdom, would be awesome.
And here you see a couple of different Crazy Cap locations. Looks like each one is very different from the other. And in the Metro Kingdom, it looks like a pretty typical storefront. And in the Sand Kingdom, there's another storefront. In the Seaside Kingdom, it's a shiny Lapras, or Plesiosaur. And in the Wooded Kingdom, they look like they're some kind of water robot. Now, I'm curious if there's only one Crazy Cap location per kingdom, or if there's multiples. And also, we see some new outfit choices here, but we're going to cover that in a separate video later. And we also see some stickers and statues for the Odyssey in the Crazy Cap. Now, are these purely cosmetic, or do they serve a purpose?
Now back in Shiveria, we see Mario wearing a parka. And his boots appear to have cleats on the bottom for climbing on ice, which is what they're for in real life. I doubt they serve any kind of purpose like that in the game. Does this outfit have a warming ability like the Rito Snow Quill outfit in Breath of the Wild? Or is it just made up of warming material?
It's Gore-Tex. You know about Gore-Tex?
And here is where they announced the snapshot mode for Mario Odyssey, which is a really cool feature. It shows a bunch of different effects and filters you can put on the pictures. Like you can fully rotate them. You can blur the background so Mario is clearly the focus of it. You can also put logos on it so they look like postcards. And the coolest feature, in my opinion, is you can flip the orientation so it can be really great backgrounds for your smartphone and stuff they mentioned. And it's a shame that Miiverse is dead now, because that would really shine with all these Mario Odyssey photos. Maybe they'll upload a Toastagram so I can use that.
And in the snapshots, we get a glimpse of a new enemy, some kind of skeleton ice mummy. And Mario's not in the shot, so are they chasing him, or is something else going on? Because none of them are wearing his hat or have a mustache. And they're all, or they seem clearly inspired by the Day of the Dead celebration, like the NPCs. So we're assuming this is probably part of the Sand Kingdom because it does have ice in it. So this looks really interesting.
This snapshot, we see Mario swimming away, like failingly, from a gigantic eel. Is this going to be an eel fight, similar to the one from Mario 64, or is Mario just not doing good at swimming? Also, it's odd to see Mario swimming with, like, as Mario. He hasn't captured a Cheep or any other aquatic creature. He's just swimming by his own, trying to escape this monstrous creature. Also, the filter over this is really cool. I like it a lot. It makes the game almost look like in a completely different art style.
Now we see Mario power sliding toward Bowser. Is this a sneak peek at a Bowser fight or the Bowser fight? And also, Bowser is grabbing his hat as if to throw it like in the original trailer. Does he have an evil Cappy named Capo?
Alright, and here we get a cool look at the creative 2D sections. These 2D sections look like a lot of fun, and this one is a glorious callback to Donkey Kong. You can see the DK spelled out in the coins, and obviously Mario is jumping over barrels like he did in the old days.
And now we get to see a better view of the purple octopus in the water bowl. And it seems to have some kind of water jet ability, so that leads to some interesting ideas.
And then we've got Cowboy Mario riding whole hog on Jaxie over here, riding atop that poison and swatting cacti out his way.
Right, and then here we get to see the most powerful T-Rex of all time just smashing through these like rock blocks. And if you notice on the rock blocks here, you can clearly see some fossil outlines. So that's kind of cool to just have as a nod to fossils in the fossil kingdom.
Here we see a different snail in the Seaside Kingdom. So these must be the NPCs of that area. And this is the same area we saw before, but now the green spiky things are off and the water spouts are just flowing. So Mario must have done something to fix that. And it's pretty likely that you might ride up those water spouts to go fight the Regal Octopus. Now the most important thing is there's a dog on this beach, and he catches your hat. Now the dog is wearing a hat, so you probably can't capture him. But what's going to make or break this game is if you can pet the dog.
And this is a pretty big shot. It shows this portrait of New Donk City and Mario being sucked into it or jumping through it on purpose. I'm guessing this is a fast travel port to get from kingdom to kingdom easily. So our theory that you might need 16 moons to leave the Sand Kingdom instead of moving on towards the next area might be true. And like early game, you might have to go from kingdom to kingdom through these shortcut portals. Now that's just a theory. There's no confirmation on this, obviously, but that would be a pretty interesting way to go about traveling from kingdom to kingdom early game. Also, in this scene, we see like a bus bench with Jaxie's face on the stop sign. So this is like a Jaxie bus bench. So I'm guessing you sit on the bus bench and then Jaxie will just like run up and you can go ride on Jaxie. So that'll be really cool. Keep an eye out for those because he looks like he's a whole lot of fun to ride.
Paragoomba confirmed. When you get hit as a Paragoomba, do you turn into a regular Goomba or do you just get forced out like we've seen before? Also, if you knock the wings off a Paragoomba and capture him, does he turn back into a Paragoomba or do you just capture a regular Goomba? And if you're a regular Goomba, is there any way to earn wings?
And here we have a shot of Steam Gardens, and this confirms that the Rocket Flower is in more than one kingdom. And you have Mario going up the side of an old building and gathering some more of those coin rings. So that looks like it opens up a lot more possibilities for exploration.
Mario clearly has captured some letters and it can walk with them for some reason. Obviously you can spell out Mario because there's M-A-R. We're guessing this is going to be one of the first moons to get. Like you have to capture the letters and make them spell Mario on this pavilion area, and that'll be one of the moons to get. More than likely on this pedestal Mario is walking over. But it looks like it's a kind of silly, fun thing that you can possess letters in this game.
Here we see Mario has captured a round polar bear or yeti for a rolling and bouncing minigame, racing other polar bear yetis. So that'll be fun to play and look on the leaderboards and see how you're doing compared to everyone else at the polar bear roll.
And in this shot of the unnamed tropical kingdom, we see another crazy cap store. But it's the Toad ship from Mario Galaxy, so that's an interesting throwback. And either the Toad or this lizard guy must be an artist because they have an easel. So maybe that's what the glasses are for the lizard, is so he can see his artwork.
If we pause it between transitions, we get a closer look at the map of Super Mario Odyssey. And one cool thing here is not necessarily the locations of the kingdoms, but you can see some text that says what the enemies, like what famous enemies are in that kingdom. Like in Wooded Kingdom, you can see Uproot, Fuzzy, Poison Piranha Plant. In the Luncheon Kingdom, you can see Hammer Bro, Fire Bro, and Lava Bubble, and Magmado. So that's more than likely the Angry Tomato we were referencing earlier is some form of like lava spewing tomato, which sounds pretty ridiculous and awesome.
And here we get a shot at the Mario, Peach, and Bowser wedding amiibo and what they do. And confirmation that all amiibo of all time work with this game. Mario gains temporary invincibility for you. Peach, you receive a life-up heart. And Bowser, which is the most useful by far probably, reveals regional coin locations. Now what I want to know, is that specific to these three, or does any Mario amiibo, for example, give you temporary invincibility? What's weird about this is the amiibo gives you Mario, Peach, and Bowser's wedding outfit, evidently. Which is strange, because why would you get other outfits for other characters? Do you just equip them to that character and that's what they look like in cutscenes, or do you play as these characters as well? And obviously you can unlock them without the amiibo too, which is fantastic. I'm glad Nintendo didn't give us that cheap shot where a certain outfit was specifically tied to an amiibo. But the most interesting thing about this to me is that you receive these. What is the purpose of receiving outfits for what we assume to be NPCs and story characters? Or does Mario get to wear these outfits, such as Bowser's wedding outfit, or does he get to cross-dress like Link into Peach's wedding outfit?
And we get some new information on the Mario Odyssey Nintendo Switch bundle. It's got a pretty nice looking Joy-Con. I like the darker red. And the included carrying case looks pretty nice. It's got the map on it, and Cappy. And it says full game download on the box. So instead of the cartridge, it's going to be already downloaded on the system. And also, we see the T-Rex in New Donk City. So is there going to be some crossover there? Maybe some Lost World action? We'll find out.
Here on the case itself, it's a pretty sweet look at the case, but more importantly, you get to see more of the enemy names on the map we talked about earlier. As you can see in Bonneton of the Cap Kingdom, it mentions the frog we've all seen from the trailers. Fossil Falls mentions T-Rex, Chain Chomp, and Lakitu, Goomba, and Bullet Bill. Toasterina mentions the Moais and a Grydon by the looks of it. I don't know quite what that is, but it sounds like it's going to be a lizard by the name of it. But yeah, that was a pretty cool inclusion on the carrying case, and hopefully it'll be in-game to look at the map to find out where these enemies are to capture them. And that will cap off our breakdown of the Super Mario Odyssey trailer shown in the Nintendo Direct September edition. It was quite a bit of information. Hopefully we found some information you hadn't seen and didn't notice. Hopefully you liked it, and give this video a like and subscribe. We'll be covering the outfits in a later video, and we will be covering the creatures Mario can capture with Cappy in a later video as well. And if you caught anything we didn't, be sure to let us know in the comments, because we would love to hear it. With that being said, we've been Brotrio. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time with more great content.